Okay. Life is always bombarding us with opportunities, and we get to make choices out of them. That we can either say yes or say no. Personally, I've always liked to say yes. So my name is Paloma, and this is a story about how saying yes took me from my small town in Mexico to living in New York at 23. So I was blessed to be born in a body that society calls as pretty, and I didn't think that of myself, but some people did. And maybe the right people did, because when I was 14, came across to the opportunity to sign in a modeling agency, and I said yes. And I didn't really know what that implied, but it was really cool to tell to my friends that I was a model. and, and so I did, and when I was 16, I moved to Mexico City. And there I was living with these really nice girls. One of them is my current best friend. And it was really fun, having no parents, having freedom, making my own choices. And one of them came home with some weed. And she asked me, "Do you want to try it?" I said yes. And oh my God, that was like an amazing experience. I felt like I got out of this world. And yeah, it was awesome. So moving forward, I started to travel the world. I usually went to different countries and stay for 3 months in each of them. It was really cool to see the world in that way. I felt like I was creating new lives and meeting new people. It was fun. I went to Korea, and there I fell in love for the first time. I went to Japan, and there I had to face the grief of my grandmother by myself. I went to London, and then there everything hit me. I realized that I was alone in a country I didn't know, and that physically I was running away from my problems, but mentally they caught up to me. So I had to go back to Mexico to try to fix my mind. And I went to therapy, but honestly, that just made me cry more. I needed to get out of this world, and the only way I knew how to was weed. And so I did. I would smoke all the time. I would smoke if I felt sad, anxious, overwhelmed, or stressed. It was my getaway. And I would also go out to party, which was fun if I was drunk enough to get out of my thoughts. And some of my friends figured out how to have more fun. One of them offered me a little red pill. And of course I said yes. And that was also a really amazing night. I felt this overwhelming love for all of my friends, and the world seemed so beautiful. And that was the feeling that I've been searching for my whole life. It was great. So the next weekend, I was back for more. And the next one, and the next one. And I felt like I was about to lose control, and then COVID hit. So I went home with my family, and there I had some time to reflect upon my decisions that I've made so far. And I realized that this love and happiness, it came with a price, because the next morning I would feel even sadder than I was before. It was like a hamster wheel, and I wanted to get out of it. And that hamster wheel was that, like, searching for a feeling that I only ever got the first time that I used. And that's the truth about all addictions, to our phones, to people, to buying shiny new things, is trying to grasp happiness out of it. But we have a misunderstanding of where it's really coming from. So how do I find happiness, and how do I make it stay? So back to my story, I moved to New York about a year ago, and one of my friends, Diego, he, he asked me to stay for a meditation class. Thankfully, I said yes. And that day, I was so inside my head with negative thoughts. And in that meditation, I found an answer, which, if the problem was me being inside my head, then I needed to do something outside, something kind for someone else. And so I did. And that day, I was able to transform that emotion. I was like, yeah, I don't know, like the fact that I got an answer. And that day, I found my favorite coping mechanism right now, which is meditation. Life as a 23-year-old teenage girl, it comes with strong emotions. And my instinct is to want to run away from it. But anything that I use, it's just a Band-Aid. Happiness, you have to cultivate it from within. It will not be handed to you from something outside. So talking about addictions, meditation is my favorite one. Yeah.